Okay. In the United States, Congress makes up the legislative branch of the federal government, and the legislative branch is composed of the House of Representatives and the Senate. And we're going to be looking at some of the similarities and differences in their congressional campaigns between the House and the Senate. Some of these similarities and differences include campaign solicitations, campaign resources, and the requirements for running an election. So one of the easiest similarities to spot between the House of Representatives and the Senate is in their campaign ethics. And this is basically a set list of rules of what is acceptable to do during campaigning. So in both the House and the Senate, you cannot solicit funds from federal employees. And they go about this a little bit differently in each body. So in the Senate, under Rule 41, the only way to be involved in campaign finances is to appoint a political funds designee. And they will handle any of the management and receiving of campaign funds. Whereas in the House, under Federal Criminal Code 18, you cannot receive any federal funds or funds from federal employees. And they go even a step further and banned soft money donations, so you can't get them from your state or local government either. Now, in the House, though, you can receive campaign donations from other members of the House. Now, not staff, like it can't be congressional staff, but it can be other members of the House. And so another similarity we see is in the use of official government resources, or the banning of using official government resources. Now, the specifics differ, again, because they're two separate congressional bodies. So in the House, it states specifically which resources you can't use. So it goes on to say like staplers, computers, fax machines, even staff, House staff. Whereas in the Senate, it states that your pay will be docked, right? So you're being paid for a specific amount of senatorial duties, and if you are using that time for campaigning, they will cut your pay. And so then we move into the differences, some of the big differences between the House and the Senate. And the largest difference is in being elected. So in the Senate, the terms are 6 years, and every 2 years, 1/3 of the Senate is up for re-election. And whereas in the House of Representatives, terms are 2 years. So where this comes into play is that the tone of the campaign might be a little bit different depending on which body of Congress you're in. So if you're in the Senate and you have 6 years, you might say, look at everything we've achieved. If you reelect me, imagine what we could continue to do. Whereas if you're in the House, it might be a little bit different, right? Because you only get 2 years. So you're going to want to say things like, well, imagine what we could achieve if you reelected me. I've only got 2 years, but if you give me another 2, here's some of the things that we could get done. And that's where the differences will come in election times. So the House of Representatives and the Senate are two different and separate branches of the same legislative body. So they have several similarities in the rules and regulations, but there's always going to be a bit of differences in how those rules are set out, right? Because the House and the Senate, they have two completely different jobs, and they have different, members and regulations. But those are some of the similarities and differences in the Senate and the House campaigning. Thank you.